flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special.
There's nothing to do, but damn, like, what else do you gotta do? he's a 3-time undisputed champion.
You looking small? What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small? Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So skillful, yes, but this and this.
Fighters fear Terence Crawford for countless extreme reasons. Roy Jones Jr. even noted that Canelo appeared uneasy just standing across from him during their face-off. What makes Crawford intimidating isn't only his skill, but the calm way he studies every movement. He's rarely hit cleanly and punishes errors with perfect timing, leaving opponents convinced they have no path to victory.
And that stare down that we talked about when I told you either he's not ready for this or he trying to Bud. He wasn't trying to little boy Bud. He really was afraid, well, not afraid, but he was worried about Bud. And Bud knew that. And Bud being the older guy, Bud kind of looked him in his eye and made him turn away first. That was a victory for Bud. That was Bud's first victory. Anytime that happens, if something else don't come around or something else don't happen to undo that, you got a problem.
Pauli Malignaggi emphasized how Terence Crawford has created one of the greatest records in boxing. He became undisputed champion 3 separate times, an achievement almost unheard of in today's era. And he did it by fighting the best names instead of cherry-picking. What impressed Pauli most wasn't only Crawford's victories, but how he absorbed so little damage, barely getting touched while dominating. His resume says it all: 41 wins, 31 by knockout, with 0 losses. Pauli called it historic, adding that Crawford's recent win over Canelo was more than just another notch, it marked the beginning of a new era. To him, it resembled the way Floyd Mayweather once defined his generation.
Flawless, flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do, you know? It'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know. But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Brian described how astonishing it was to witness Terence Crawford against Canelo, noting he had rarely seen such a perfect balance of defense and offense in modern boxing. Usually, fighters shine in one area while leaving the other exposed. Crawford, however, blended both with precision. Against Canelo, he showed he could not only shut down attacks with his guard and movement, but also switch instantly to offense to exploit every chance. Brian stressed that this complete skill set sets Crawford apart from most champions, as he can neutralize weapons while creating his own momentum. For him, it was remarkable to watch a fighter both avoid damage and dominate an elite rival with composure and craft.
See, I think that for me, I watch defense as much as I watch offense. So, yeah, like I thought, like watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, he'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem.
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo.
Ever. Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it. He goes, "I couldn't figure him out."
No.
Which is why he probably won't fight him again. In a way.
They'll fight again.
You think so?
The payday, yeah. But so you're gonna get Canelo, because the money's in Canelo Crawford, the rematch.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it, but I want Crawford to get paid, so might as well do it.
Andre Ward offered glowing praise of Crawford, calling him the most skilled fighter of his generation. Ward, himself a technical master in his prime, highlighted Crawford's mindset, saying that when Terence commits to a goal, nothing can deter him. Ward argued the only way to beat Crawford is to truly hurt him physically, since strategy alone won't work. Crawford's adaptability, stance switches, and ability to think under fire place him among the rare few who can impose their will regardless of circumstances. Ward's perspective reinforced the notion that Crawford's achievements aren't luck, they are built on discipline, toughness, and relentless dedication to overcoming obstacles.
Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud.
Who's the most skilled fighter today?
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes. But this and this, it's different, man.
Crawford's path has always been personal, shaped by his family's influence. He often recalls how his father predicted early on that he would become an undisputed champion, planting belief in him from childhood. His mother, however, was doubtful, never fully convinced he would reach the top. Instead of discouraging him, her skepticism became his drive. Every time he entered the ring, Crawford fought with the determination to prove her wrong. With each victory and every belt collected, he not only fulfilled his father's vision but also earned his mother's pride. Today, he looks back with satisfaction, knowing his journey has brought both validation and respect from his family.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champ.
I told him you wouldn't be.
How'd that make you feel?
It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to it.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could none whoop.
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah,
no
kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
Reflecting on his choices, Crawford explained that he never chased undisputed status at 154 pounds because he didn't see enough worthy competition there. To him, becoming undisputed isn't just about stacking belts, it's about doing it against the toughest names. Rather than settle at 154, he took the daring step to aim for 168, where the challenges and star opponents could strengthen his legacy even more. His refusal to move down shows confidence in testing himself at higher divisions, making sure his career is remembered for bold risks and ambition, not for comfort or easy victories.
Has being undisputed at 154 ever crossed your mind at this point that you at in your career?
Not at all, because I'm looking at the landscape of the 154-pound division. There's a lot of great fighters, but there's not a lot of defining fights at 154. There's not a lot of legacy fights at 154. You know, when I'm looking at the landscape of 154, I beat, what's his name?
Majimov? No, 154?
No. The champion that just knocked out Tim Tszyu.
Oh, Bachram. Yeah.
Okay, so Bachram, they're going to say, who was Bachram?
Facts.
He knocked out Tim Tszyu that already had losses.
I would put you down with Fedora, though.
But Fedora already been knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
So, along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate.
Crawford has also proudly displayed the belts he earned, not as meaningless bragging, but as a testament to the years of work behind them. Each belt reflects not just a win, but the grind, sacrifices, and obstacles he overcame. To him, standing with those titles reminds both fans and critics that nothing came easy. Every piece of gold was fought for against doubters and tough opponents. His collection of belts stands as proof of discipline, resilience, and faith in his ability, while also serving as inspiration for future fighters aiming to carve out their own legacies.
I'm just reflecting
on all my accomplishments at my mama house. That's where all my belts at. You know, hard work, dedication. Things that y'all favorite fighters, some of them, ain't got. So I see why y'all mad. See why y'all mad. Look at that one right there. This where it all started at. Right here. This one. In Texas. In Texas, baby. Don't hate. Just congratulate.
Virgil Ortiz Jr., an emerging contender, offered Crawford huge respect for his latest performance, calling it absolutely beautiful. Ortiz said Crawford showed enough in that fight to prove himself completely and no longer needs more opponents to validate his greatness. From Ortiz's view, Crawford's legacy is already secured, and he doesn't need further challenges to be remembered among the best. That kind of admiration from a young, hungry fighter reveals just how strongly Crawford's dominance has impacted the next generation, leaving them stunned by all he has already achieved.
Perfect fight actually. He neutralized all of Canelo's strengths. He knew that he was gonna look for the right hook, because I believe that they've been looking at Crawford being hurt by that right hook before. So he neutralized it. He used his jab really well. He boxed beautifully. And man, I mean, he did everything right. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Crawford first, because obviously we can get to Canelo later. But in the post-fight, they asked him, a media member asked him if he'd come back down to 154 to fight Boots. Obviously, in the same token, I took it as, all right, Boots or Virgil, right? And he said he's not coming back down to 154. What are your thoughts on him not coming down, and what do you think he will more than likely do next?
I don't know what he's gonna do. I did read something that said he'll go down to 160. You know, and I think that is definitely a possibility. And you know, that fight can still happen at 160. And as far as what he's gonna do now, I mean, I don't know. He kind of beat the final boss of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kind of nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, I mean, what else do you got to do? He's a 3-time undisputed champion. He made some good money. At this point, he's just a free player right now, I guess. He can do whatever he wants.
Virgil Ortiz Jr., an emerging contender, offered Crawford huge respect for his latest performance, calling it absolutely beautiful. Ortiz said Crawford showed enough in that fight to prove himself completely and no longer needs more opponents to validate his greatness. From Ortiz's view, Crawford's legacy is already secured, and he doesn't need further challenges to be remembered among the best. That kind of admiration from a young, hungry fighter reveals just how strongly Crawford's dominance has impacted the next generation, leaving them stunned by all he has already achieved.
Effect is in full effect. Okay? It's in full effect. Terence Crawford now is a wanted man. Prior to that, everybody said Terence Crawford is not a draw. Terence Crawford can't sell. Terence Crawford is not a big money fight. Now, we have an interesting situation brewing. The former unified WBO, WBC, junior middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar or star boxer, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, refused to fight Terence Bud Crawford, who is now, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt, the pound for pound king, 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, with a record of 42 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. When Terence Crawford dominated and stopped The Truth, Errol Spence Jr., in July of 2023, Terence Crawford petitioned to move up and fight the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, okay? And Sebastian Fundora has zero interest.
Crawford's influence on boxing has sparked a ripple effect, with fighters from other divisions now eager to call him out. Sebastian Fundora, known for his towering size and aggressive approach, has already voiced interest in facing him. This is what many describe as the Crawford effect. When a fighter reaches true dominance, others want to test themselves against him to earn credibility. Instead of Crawford chasing opponents, challengers are lining up for a shot. It's a complete role reversal that shows the power and authority Crawford currently holds in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, shit. They definitely doubted, bro. And he told me months ago that he was gonna do that. And he went and did that. That shit, you know what I mean? And they doubted him a lot throughout his career, you know what I mean? Just a lot. And just a lot of people that I look at that's great fighters, they've been doubted. You know what I mean? Same thing with Floyd. Floyd, they had the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Shane Mosleys, the Trinidad, they all was putting them above Floyd and all this woo-de-woo. You know what I mean? So I just feel like getting doubted is a great thing. It gives me, you know what I mean, that push. So, yeah.
You think it would look that, I ain't gonna call it easy, but I felt like people didn't think that Crawford could do it that clean. Did that surprise you?
No. It did surprise me that he stayed more disciplined. Like, I thought what was gonna happen was he was gonna do what he was doing, and then, you know, Terence got hard. He trying to bang it out, especially if he feel played enough. He feel like you feel like you doing something, he gonna come with it stuff. So I thought that was gonna be a problem. Like if Canelo landed a punch, he would try to go in the trenches with Canelo. And that's what I would have been scared for him for. But man, that boy stayed sharp all night, man. That boy looked good, man. I can't lie. He looked good. Sure. I was definitely surprised at how smooth, how easy he beat him.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.